We have a story from Outkick. I'm so excited for this one. Taylor Swift lyrics enrage social media. But are people overreacting?
So glad.
Well, Bettridge's Laws of Headlines, I think that's what it's called. Can you fact check me on that one? Is that whenever a news headline ends with a question mark, the answer is no. However, in this instance, you don't need to ask the question. People are overreacting.
This is
basically what happens is, and of course, Hannah Claire being a major Swiftie. So here's this video. I'm going to play this video for you, and I'd like you to hear what Taylor Swift has to say to her audience. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sang F the patriarchy, and all the kids cheer along, and conservatives are losing their minds.
I'm so glad we're talking about this because, first of all, David Hookstead is a friend of mine, and I'm a Swiftie.
And you know the truth.
I do.
The truth is, it's an old song, and she's talking about a guy.
She is.
She's
Jake
quoting.
Gyllenhaal.
It was Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
She's okay. So
We know.
everybody's. I saw this is what always happens. People overreact. They don't get the full context. So when I saw a video of Taylor Swift saying F the patriarchy, and I am not a Swiftie, I was like, I Google searched F the patriarchy Taylor Swift, saw the song, listened to it, and I was like, oh, she's saying, you threw me your car keys, and you had a keychain that said F the patriarchy. She's like insulting the guy.
It's a song about the fact that she dated a male feminist who treated her badly.
It's a 10-minute long song about how this crashed and burned.
That has been in her set list for this tour from the beginning. I know, I saw it in Colorado last summer, right? Like everyone yelled it then too. Conservatives, like, I get that you're upset about this. You're not listening to the context, and also you're like panicked pearl clutching at something that you're so out of touch with. It's honestly sort of sad because this is one of the most viral tours. Every time she goes on stage and changes her costumes, it goes everywhere. And you guys couldn't figure out that this has been a song lyric for actual years.
It's not just that. It's that the song's critical of the guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's not saying this for herself. She's quoting that he did it.
Right.
She's condescending to the guy. Imagine if like Charlie Kirk got on stage and then started yelling, you got people who are saying it's not enough to not be racist. We got to be actively anti-racist. And then everyone started booing him and posting clips being like, how dare you say that, Charlie? And it's like, what do you, he's saying don't do that. What do you mean?
I get frustrated with this whole conversation because, first of all, I would just like to say, I am very conservative. I would never call myself a feminist. I'm very pro-life. I am probably the opposite of everything that Taylor Swift stands for. That being said, I feel like conservatives, especially conservative men, embarrass themselves by their takes on Taylor Swift because what they're trying to do is say, look, she's teaching young women bad things. She's so liberal. We want her to be this paragon of liberalism. And
Billionaire capitalist is teaching people bad things.
But it's like, actually, if you look at what she sings, she's pretty tame compared to every other female singer out there. And I'm not saying she's a good example for little girls. Like, I don't think little girls should be listening to someone say F the patriarchy. But at the same time, she's just Taylor Swift. She's a megastar.
And this song is a 10-minute review of a relationship she had with a male feminist and how it was bad. I'm sorry, conservatives. You should recognize what a win this is.
So I think one of the original tweets that went viral is from Mary Morgan of Pop Culture Crisis. I think she needs a Hannah Claire intervention to explain the nuances of Taylor Swift to her.
Look, I mean, again, it's funny because that song, it's called All Too Well. It came out back in the day. Then she re-recorded all of her albums. And this one in particular, she made 10 minutes long. She added this part about the keychain or whatever else. Like, it's super old news. People were like, I remember people writing about it back then. Like, oh, she says F the patriarchy in context of this thing. But again, like, it's actually a song about a male feminist who treated her badly.
And listen, like, All Too Well is a really well-crafted song.
It's actually
Like,
beautiful.
people like to get on Taylor Swift. Listen, like, because she's popular and because, she's, whatever, they don't like her teeth or whatever. I don't care. But, like, she is an extremely accomplished songwriter for a reason. She plays piano. She plays guitar. She does all this while she's singing. Like, she performs really well. So this idea that she's like some hack and that you can dunk on her as being some kind of product of a record company or something, that is a complete and total clown show, and you only make yourself unappealing to potential voters. Don't hate on popular things just because you're stupid and a loser.
Especially if you're months late to this, right?
Yeah.
If she had just added this song to the set list, I would get where you're like, oh, she says this thing I had no idea about.
Yeah.
Like, it's been there for a long time.
When's the song from?
It's
It's
well,
from,
was
she
on the Red
re-recorded a
record.
couple
No, but when's the original?
It was on the Red record from
but this
2012 or
but
13.
this line wasn't on the original.
Yeah, this
fine.
is the 10-minute
Oh,
version.
really?
So she re-recorded it, but again, that was like what?
But
3
she
or 4
wrote
years
it
ago.
She wrote it back.
All right.
Whichever.
At the beginning.
Again, she's been on tour for
Right, okay.
over a year.
So this is
Come on,
this is why I don't care about Taylor Swift at all. The issue here is not Taylor Swift. The issue is she is this is the biggest music tour, like one of the biggest music tours ever. Normies love Taylor. She is not herself singing F the Patriarchy and telling little girls to think that. She's telling a story of something she saw. I don't get why conservatives are so hell-bent on declaring war on someone who is not at war with them. There's
Right.
no reason to be. Many people have pointed out that Taylor Swift she's like, how old is she, 35?
34.
34. And she's writing now about how she wants to get married and have kids. And she's...
And her hunky football player was
Yeah.
on stage last night.
It's
like,
prom
come on.
night.
Win.
It's prom night. So, but this is what's frustrating is, again, I don't care about Taylor Swift. You've got to figure out all these pundits, right? We got Paul Joseph Watson, we got Darren Grimes, we got Paul Sippa, I don't know who that is, TJ Moe, all these people. Mary Morgan, we'll talk to Mary because she works here. But all these people need to recognize, like, you are going after the normies to convince them of things that are good, and they enjoy listening to Taylor Swift sing. So what you need to do is highlight all of the things that Taylor Swift is doing well. And I'll put it simply. If a 24-year-old woman is walking down the street, apolitical, she doesn't really pay attention, so she probably is a default lib, and you walk up and say, F Taylor Swift, she's now going to be like, I don't like you.
Yeah.
She's not going to listen to anything you say. You walk up and say, isn't it amazing that we have this like young woman who's got the hunky football guy? It's like good old American apple pie, the football guy and the cheerleader. And you remember when she was singing how she's on the bleachers and or whatever, and now she's got the guy. And that's the American dream, to get married and have kids. That 24-year-old woman's going to be like, that's so cool, yeah. And she's going to like you. And then you can say,
Yes.
Here's what else I think. You should agree with me.
Listen, conservatives, don't hate popular things just because you're stupid.
Right. Well, and I would like to make one more point on this. I think conservatives get it so wrong on her music and other popular female musicians, in that she's singing about love all the time. She's not singing about politics.
Absolutely.
This is a crazy thing. Why isn't this article about like WAP or like literally? I could probably go on the Billboard Hot 100 right now and find 50 songs that are just degenerate garbage.
Or where were all the conservative commenters? I mean, some of them did pick this up, but when Olivia Rodrigo, who's also a pop star, was giving out Plan B at her concert.
Right.
Like,
And
she got roasted for that.
she did, but like,
and her target audience is younger girls.
that's my thing though.
Yeah.
Like, there is actually something way more serious than Taylor Swift telling you she dated a guy who had an F the Patriarchy keychain on his keys. Like, let's hold these things in comparison here.
Right. And I think it's just a fundamental misunderstanding of the topic at hand. You know, everyone wants to be viral now. Everyone wants to have a quick take. So we say stupid things, like Phil's saying, we say stupid things about things we have no idea about, and then it just makes us look dumb. And
out of touch. Like, come on, this has been going on for like over a year.
Well, and to Tim's point about your average 24-year-old girl on the street, this is kind of cool moment that Taylor Swift is in. She was posting last night about how much she loves her boyfriend. Do we want to repel Taylor Swift too? I'm not saying she's going to become some conservative, because that's naive. But at the same time, like, why not encourage her in these good things?
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you what I think of Taylor Swift. I think behind the scenes, she's a fair weather conservative. There are a bunch of rock stars that I will not out. Okay, but they're fair weather conservatives. Behind the scenes, they're basically saying like, "Oh, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. I vote for all the Republicans." But I got music to sell and I don't want to get political in my product. And I think that's wrong, because the left does the opposite. But so it's annoying. You get a lot of these you get a lot of like celebrities. It's the most annoying thing in the world. Celebrities, pro athletes, actors, musicians, whatever. And they'll message me and be like, "Oh man, I'm so excited. I'm going to vote for Trump." And I'm like, "Hey, why don't you post that on Instagram?" And they're like, "Oh no, I wouldn't do that." And I'm like, dude, the left won't stop doing that. You need to start. I'm willing to bet. You look at where Taylor Swift is from. I know people post that documentary clip where she's crying about Trump or whatever, and I'm like, dude, I'm willing to bet behind the scenes she is like moderate right.
No, she's dated multiple guys. Who's that? Matty Healy.
Yeah, 1975.
Yeah, he's very controversial, and she got very angry. She wrote a whole song about how everyone tried to tell her she couldn't date him because of politics, and she was furious. So I would believe that, Tim. I mean, she definitely.
I mean, her dad was like a registered Republican. People found out and were like, really?
Yeah,
mad,
he owns
right?
a Christmas tree farm, right? Isn't
Look,
that
I mean,
grew up on
the
it?
fact of the matter is, if like one of the things that we talk about frequently here is like we have to have like we have to endorse family values,
Yes.
right? And we have to endorse basically normalcy. We don't want to center the things that are essentially on the outside and on the margins, because they tend to be on the margins for a reason. Taylor Swift is dating a man.
That's a victory.
Taylor Swift is
A macho man.
Taylor Swift probably could or may get pregnant by that man through normal means.
I actually
Take the W, conservatives.
wait.
Take the W.
If that happens, the fertility rate of the U.S. is going to jump to like 2.1.
Yes, it is.
Thank goodness. Like,
Everyone's
stop
on
being
I
stupid.
said this like 6 months ago.
I
She's
did
going to
too.
usher in a baby boom. And I think this is the thing that people don't appreciate. Like every conservative dad who is watching this clip being like, oh, the patriarchy.
Well, no, but
Listen,
remember,
hold on,
remember,
guys.
Hold on. They should go to their daughters and be like, yeah, it sounds like that guy who was claiming to be against the patriarchy treated her really badly.
Yes.
Imagine what happens when Taylor's next album is all about being a mom. How she loves her kids and how she made Rice Krispie treats. And then she makes a music video with her kid and she's like stirring the marshmallow
Yes.
and smiling. And then what all of the Swifties who are going to be in their mid to late 20s are going to be wanting to do.
yeah.
Her
Yes,
latest album has
exactly.
this line because she's talking about whatever relationship because she just dated someone for like 6 years and they didn't get married or have kids. She has several references to the fact that like she wanted to have kids. She waited at the altar. She gave you all the stolen youth for free.
Yes.
Like,
Wow.
this
It was
is really
powerful.
interesting
No,
messaging.
it was super powerful. And she literally said, you stole my good years. And, that is a current, very relevant
This is
topic.
something young women need to
problem-
hear. And I get that you don't love Taylor Swift. You don't have to love her, but also these are messages young women should actually be hearing that you can't
thinking
date
about.
someone
Yeah.
forever and ever. And then when they don't marry you, be like, it's cool, I'll just keep waiting.
All of the conservatives that are giving her crap and stuff, they're doing it entirely. What they're doing is totally counterproductive to what their stated messaging is. It's counterproductive, and they're only doing it to raise their own celebrity level. So that way they can get the hot dunk on Taylor Swift, so maybe it'll go viral. It's self-serving, it's counterproductive, it's bad for any type of conservative agenda at all. It is stupid. Stop being stupid, especially in election years, you stupid idiots.
Our fertility
All
rate
right.
is too low for this. Thanks for watching this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to check out the live show Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe and we'll see you all there.